the number.
Maybe not.
There's no argument with the number.
It was just on, it's just,
How can you say $12?
it was the positions, and I mean, it was pretty much.
Because the ag rate, we don't have to be.
No, because.
So they look at it as a, what percentage of your, what percentage of calls you run. Trying to get us some supplemental money.
They get the biggest bumps.
It's so bad.
To the floor, yeah.
They get the biggest.
Every penny of that came from my head, out of it. The negative,
And that's
to the
on
48. And, obviously fixing the pay scale, because that was good.
But that's 48 and 45 is what they had to be, so you bumping them up to that, well, that qualifies.
Yes, it's for the pay increases.
But it says pay increase to get it up to 45.
Well, we have to have the minimum of 45. Can't, just the minimum, that's to even be eligible to get the 350 the year before.
So that the rest of it would be,
So instead of
We can use that for, because that's specifically what it's for, it's for, to build a smaller rural county, pay for law enforcement, to add positions, that was a three specific factors.
In a position, you're talking about ag.
I'd like to see, I'd like to have two, yeah, I have an open position as a deputy now. I'd like to have two more. And then at least one more judge position.
so two would be like 150,000.
Two more deputies, yeah, if you add in, well, I don't know what all, I think it goes on the salary side.
Why would it be 96 of it? If you brought
Because
in
you gotta
48,
add
it's
in-
96,000.
No, but you gotta.
Another
add in-
40%.
Yeah, you gotta add the
Payroll taxes.
Right.
And 20,000 for insurance.
Insurance.
And I did ask Alan, and he called back, Holly let me know, and he said that's not gonna be known for sure until
About where there comes covers payroll or not.
the taxes. The taxes.
Because whatever the county may have to pay all the payroll taxes and the hospitalization.
And insurance.
Yeah.
Oh, but
As far as I know, I'm just going off payroll. As far as I know, it's just.
I know, we
mean,
have
I'm
to think
payroll.
about all the other
Right,
stuff.
right, right. I'm saying that's what I took the 350, or from the 350, was the salary part of it.
base salary.
Yes. Because I was looking at it like, if we use that to get us where we need to be, then actually more of it's coming out of that than. That's the way I like it.
Well, so. Well, the 45. Yes, the rest of it. Given it to the 45. Because we added and the raises, and they're above.
Thank you, though.
Well,
Yes, we're gonna.
I took it
Or
out.
if you have it written down. It's always that.
I'm saying, I took it out. We had a meeting that
I won't take it hard.
No, I mean, that's, was laid on our desk this morning.
whatever it took to get us to the minimal requirement of that it would all be reimbursed out of that 350
But we're already there, is what I'm saying, we're above the 45.
if you do it your way.
Well, I don't know how we can say, well, we're not gonna give y'all a raise so we can pay for it out of the 45 is what it has to be.
Yes, the minimum requirement.
So, what we're doing right here, right now, as far as adding the supplement and adding the raise, none of that would be repeated, is what I'm saying, because we have brought it above 45. So that's that one issue.
So it's not a question. Or would the question be, can we recoup that?
Not if what we have right now, what we're budgeting, what our salary is, that's our normal raise and other
So once it
stuff.
goes in effect,
Yes,
we won't be able to get it back.
correct.
Yeah, basically, we have to be at 75, 45 to get the 350 to begin with.
Right.
So once we've set that, which are doing, the way you're doing it, we'll be set and we'll get the 350 cut down. Yeah, then you have the 350 to work with.
Yes, we do. But I'm just trying to be clear that none of that will be recouped except on his salary. On his salary. We don't know about payroll taxes yet, right? Okay.
So we have one for the 48, we may do that, one for 350.
I think you can do raises and higher, and I think it says raises, I don't think it says raises up to, just raising them up. I think you can pretty much do whatever with salary and with, we'll get more clarification whenever, surely in the next month. They said September. They said September.
I'm sure we'll know about that legislative conference.
But that's all I was.
And then I've already made, calls to get an updated list on what our minimum requirements is for the jail.
Okay, yeah. All right. You have a new, if you will, study that, let's see what additional changes we may need to make. Now, I think when did y'all talk about ambulance while I was out?
No matter what page was it on?
Okay, well, do you want to talk about, yes. Corrections. But they're small. No, just hold that, so I won't lose it in all these papers.
Give us another budget.
We need another budget, yes.
Kill up the chickens.
Let's look at a date when we can meet with all the cities and all the rest. No, we can have to do that. I gave her she will do that.
I thought we approved it.
Yes, yes, she has to add the line.
Yes.
But let's look at that too, let's look at, the fire department stuff too. Because I think I didn't write down one thing that I needed on one. We got the grant match, and then we got
There you go.
45.
45.
You can write Oakwood, I think I'm gonna put that on. We know we're gonna add Oakwood, but we have to do a line, so.
Good job.
All right, I'm ready.
Ambulance, page 44.
While we're on fire, I want to talk about what Brian from TIG brought us this morning to verify yesterday when we were talking about the grants. And I think from up here, we were
Yes.
saying we ought to all be going out for grants. And this is just showing that these fire departments, Worthing's been waiting since 2013, 14. He only made one copy of this, but this shows like where Fairfield is in line, our truck. But and Brian, you have to explain what being down on this list means, but.
So that's just the central region, which is what our county's in.
There's 3 regions.
We compete against 3 regions, central, east, and west. And that's strictly a list of the central. And that's where they're rated. So it has a points rating system. Right now, I highlighted each department and their rating per whatever they're requesting. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're up against as far as getting grants awarded.
2016 is when, I guess they submitted.
That's when the grants were submitted. So Wortham submitted grants in 2013 and still haven't been awarded.
This right here
So-
shows, so this, so Fairfield's got 1, 2,
Yes, sir.
3, 4, 5, 6.
In the
Filled out,
report.
yes. And like TIG, because they got a truck. When did y'all get the last?
2018.
2018.
We
so they're not
can't
even
submit.
allowed to submit anything right now.
Yeah, they haven't opened the 3rd round for the truck grants yet, so we can't even submit the grant to replace our tanker until they allow us to submit it.
Is there any one of the fire departments that would be more likely to receive a grant than, I know the ones that have gotten a lot of grants, we discussed.
Well,
they were-
There's no way of us knowing. They go by call volumes and needs as far as in the state and how they report their calls, different things like that go into the equation. So they may jump around that list as far as who they pick, but we don't have any way of knowing how that's going to go until they only have like 3 meetings a year to award grants. So.
I was just thinking if there was one that hadn't gotten a grant in a long time, maybe that would be a good.
No, ma'am. I mean, we've submitted grants later than other departments and have been awarded before them in the past on different things. So it jumps around, but how they pick, it goes by different criteria as far
Feel
as.
lucky to get what you
Right.
yeah.
But even after you are able to submit it, you're looking at Wortham 10 years now. They've been waiting just to get a truck awarded, so. And our tanker is next year be 20 years old. And on that second page, I kind of give a brief description of like, normally 20 years on a fire truck is either put in reserve status or taken out of, retired altogether, so. That truck, if we're not awarded a grant or, not bought one by y'all or whoever, I mean, it may go till it won't go anymore, so. That just gives you an idea of how difficult it is to get a truck grant, so.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if you need more information or anything, just let us know. We'll be glad to try to answer anything else. The one thing, wasn't able to know what y'all discussed yesterday, but I know rumors and there's a lot of, we may get different residential areas out in the county. We don't have the water supply right now to be able to cover all. If we have residential fires out in the county, like we're set up now, there's only a handful of tankers in the county as it is. So the more we can get, the better off we'll be.
insurance this year, but I know we need to think about budgeting for it.
Yeah, we're not, I mean, we're just trying to
Right, just.
get our foot in the door, so
As far
in
as
the
looking
future.
down the road.
I know y'all have a
and
lot of
all these
stuff to deal with.
That's a lot more structures that could be called for.
It's just, it's not, I just wanted y'all to know it's not an easy process to get a grant. I mean, we try to get as many as we can, and it's not easy to do, so.
It's a lot of work, I'm sure. Appreciate it. Do we need to put possibly, I know we left the workers' comp, I left the workers' comp off, so we're gonna have to add that. Probably 5,000. And then maybe some grant match, we put 20,000 on that. You never know. Anything else there? Not, okay, we're still at,
And y'all ended up with, you guys have with
she will, Karen has to add that line. We will.
Judge, real quick on the E-Force deal, it does not come with the hardware like for our vehicles. You're aware of that?
No, I'm not.
Okay. It doesn't come with the hardware for our
I probably
vehicles.
need to be aware of that, yeah.
And I'm just now finding out myself. I wasn't aware of that either.
Okay.
And he's saying that we're gonna carry our own server and not the iCloud. Is that true too?
I don't know really anything about it
Okay.
myself.
Well, that's, I've got him right here on the phone, and
No. He probably knows better, yeah.
so
Any of y'all talked about
I'm just
it?
making sure that we all understand that at this point, because I wasn't aware that it didn't have all the hardware, but it doesn't have anything to do with it.
Hardware. I didn't know that.
Okay, and then we'll be having the server here, which means if anything happens or something goes wrong, we're gonna have to figure out how to take care of it
Does
here.
it cost more for it to be on the cloud?
Oh, yes.
How much? Just write a check.
How many clouds are there?
We need our own
I
cloud.
only hear one, they say the cloud.
We have it. It's a cloud.
I'd like to see a rain cloud come by.
Couple of them.
We're stuck, but it's getting lunchtime, and I know some people will be always not.
What time you got it up?
It's 11.
We're gonna go, if y'all need
Yeah,
anything
appreciate
else.
it.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
all.
We were up at 5 for the house fire, so we're
Oh, my
about to
gosh.
give out.
Thank you.
Uh,
All right. He's looking for the amount for the cloud.
Let's talk about ambulance.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about ambulances. I lost my sheet. Here it is. Here it is. Okay.
All right, William Flippin, for those of y'all that don't recognize me or I hadn't met yet. I don't know if you were here last time I was here or not. I'm the EMS director for the TIG ambulance area, or better known as TIG Hospital District area. I'd like to bring up two things this year, which, you know, we try to keep that to a minimum. We don't come up and ask for a whole lot, but two things I'd like the court to consider is an increase on the amount that we get yearly. I think it's been at about $100,000 for quite some time. I'm not sure exactly how many years that's been, but it's been that same way for a long time. As y'all may know or may not, we do collect taxes. However, you know, we can't just to increase the taxes. I know there's maybe a misconception about, well, if you just need more money, increase the taxes, but y'all probably know that better than anybody. You can't just increase the taxes. We've been at or below 5 cents for 20 years, and that's just to provide the EMS. That's all we do is the EMS and indigent care. As of this past year, we had to increase staffing to 2 full-time ambulances, 24/7, 365. So we have, in the past, we've had 1 ambulance. This year, we've had 2 ambulances because the call volume had just kept increasing significantly. We've been able to do that with that same tax at 5 cents. This year, it's actually a little bit less than 5 cents because of the maximum that it can go up because the appraisals went up. So we actually had to bring that tax rate down some. It's down into the 4s. So we collect around 400 this year, around 400 something thousand dollars, 420, somewhere in that neighborhood. Don't quote me on the exact number, but it's going to be close. Around $420,000 in tax revenue, but we have to pay around $110,000 to collect that to the county, whether it's the appraisal district or collector's tax assessor collector. So typically in the past, what we've done is that the county has given us back $100,000 to help offset that amount. So at the end of the day, we're actually probably putting a little bit more money into the county, maybe about $10,000. So we're actually a little bit in the red as far as what the county's doing. Now, with that being said, I don't know if the commissioner's court, if there's something that we can do about that, the cost that it costs us to collect. So just to give an example, the TIG-ISD, we have the exact same tax base as the TIG-ISD. If they're collecting $10 million, they pay $110,000 to collect it. We collect $400,000, we pay $110,000 to collect it. So we really only are collecting money that we can spend in the 300s as far as what we can collect, around $300,000. Our budget last year was $1.472 million. So we're tax money wise, we're only utilizing what 25% of what we collect in taxes to cover our budget. And then of course, if we get $100,000 from the county, then it's another, well, what, 7%. So we're hustling to try to make up that difference in billing. This year, we've projected to collect over $600,000 in billing just in this fiscal year. For us, it's the same as y'all's October to October. So that being said, we've got some projects that are going on. We're trying to improve the service without raising the taxes on the public. So we're doing everything we can on our end to facilitate these changes and improvements without it being a tax burden. So we're hoping the county may be able to help us out a little bit with that, with those burdens. We've had, as y'all may know, we've taken down the old hospital. It was actually costing us about $4,000 to $5,000 a month in upkeep and insurance on it. The roof contract, keep the roof from leaking. We had the big winter storm that caused some damage. We utilized that opportunity to go ahead and destroy the building. However, there was some asbestos that we didn't count on being in there. We had to have that removed. That was $97,000. So it pretty much ate up our insurance money, but we were fortunate enough that the bank and Teague wanted to buy part of that property. So we sold them a good section of that property to help offset that cost and to be able to afford to put in a new building. The building that we're in now is 30 or 40 years old. It was never intended to be an ambulance station, certainly not for 2 full-time crews. So we're all kind of packed in there right now, and it has a lot of problems of its own. We are building a new facility to house the ambulances and the 2 EMS crews that are on full-time. That is going to cost us around $550,000 to $600,000, but it's over $400,000 or over 4,000 square feet, the majority of it being the bays to park the ambulances in. So it's pretty much a standard metal building with bays and living quarters to house the EMS and to respond from. We've had some issues come up with it already that we're behind a little bit on budget-wise, just because the city had a water line running through there. It wasn't even on the map. It ended up being a 6-inch water main that slowed us down. So there's been some problems, and we ended up having to move the station a little bit. That cost us money. But overall, what we were able to sell the property for, 100% of that money is going towards the construction of this new building. So we'll have some debt, around $300,000 is all the debt we'll have going forward with that new building in place. So the idea is the note on that is, we can afford to pay a note on that building, not having that old hospital there taking care of it that we couldn't lease to anybody, or get any revenue from. Basically, instead of spending it on a building that was falling apart, we'll take that money now and put it towards a new facility. So like I said, but just to kind of recap, what I'm asking the Commissioners Court to consider is those two things: whether there's anything that we can do about the collections for us particularly. It may be something that's impossible. I don't know.
We charge the same fee to everybody, and so I don't think we really could, if we did, then somebody else would have a reason that would want some kind of exclusion. I just don't see how we could do it from that side. Probably, we're doing it with that. How could we not charge one entity and then we charge all these other entities?
Well, the way I understand it, and I don't know when it was set up, but because the collection fee is so great compared to their levy, that the county basically has given that fee back to them through Commissioners Court. And if it's a flat 100,000, I don't know what it is, but if it's a flat 100,000, I can imagine that maybe when the parcel count was lower, that more than covered what their collection fee is. If the collection fee now, I don't remember what the bill was last year, but if it's up to 110, that's probably because the parcel count has increased, so they're paying.
Well, I think, we do fund some for the other ambulance, and they don't have that kind of situation as far as being able to collect taxes, because they're not a taxing entity. But we do fund them some too.
Correct.
What does that mean? I don't hear as far as the income.
It's not just the collection, but it's also the appraisal district. There's a fee on there for the appraisal district.
That's part of that 300,000 on the second page, fee of 300. That's part of that. That's getting out from all of the entities.
Which would be TISD, TIG ambulance.
Well, that makes me wonder though, 300, if it's
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It doesn't make- it doesn't
Yes,
add up.
we charge
it
due,
doesn't
don't
add up.
we? We charge due.
Do we collect taxes?
75 cents a parcel.
But the collection of the taxes, that amount is to help fund the
Second page.
expenses for sending out the notices.
Right. Yeah, we have no money tied up in it.
So I don't see,
I don't see how we could be charging everybody $100,000.
no. How much,
Oh,
how much do
345.
you think?
Tax
Can
collection.
you look at that and see how much you get from P for collecting those taxes?
Yeah, I have it on my spreadsheet, I can go print it. And it's 75 cents a parcel, so it depends on how many parcels are in that hospital
Right.
district versus how many parcels are in Fairfield's hospital district, the school district. So I can go print it out.
Will it give us a breakdown of what we're getting from each entity, Gene?
Yes, sir.
Good deal.
I'll be right back.
All right, we'll be right here.
I just got off the phone with E-Force, and they said that, the reason why they went with a in-house server is because if we run our own quarries, they can't put it on the cloud, because that's private information. So we'd have to have our own server here.
Okay.
And then the hardware is a no. I mean, that's gonna be an added extra expense.
Well, you need to kind of get
I
us.
thought we could utilize the hardware that we have now.
Well, we don't have any.
Y'all have computers in the Tahoes?
No, we've never had anything like that. Yeah.
We'll need to get a estimate on all that stuff.
Coming out of stock, they just expensive.
Sure. And I also have, Judge, the latest, the jail inspector, when they were here in 2017.
Okay, yeah.
And we had to add the kitchen position, so we have to have a minimum of 14 positions.
All right, let's see what
This one shows 15, but the IM services officer is not needed because we actually have a commissary company that handles it.
Well, but that includes the transport officer, kitchen supervisor. Is that the only thing the kitchen supervisor does?
That's
Is
the-
watch on the cook?
That's what there's, well, no, it's not the only thing that they do, but we've been so shorthanded, we haven't had that position anyway. But the minimum we
Send
have.
that to me so I can print it out, so that we can read it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. We'll wait for that and see what she says about that. I don't know. But since we base it by the parcel, that probably is not something that we could address from that side. We just have
And
to-
Judge, that's also written contract.
Yeah.
And have we raised that 75 cent per parcel in the last?
No, I've looked into it, and what my legal counsel told me is that you gotta be careful about trying to raise that
I
because.
don't want to, I just
Okay.
make sure we wasn't.
No, it was set back in like
More of a
2013.
burden, You know,
I want to say 2013. It's been quite a while since those,
Well, I
contracts were
remember
put together.
Lisa talked about it back in 20, whatever that was. Tried to figure out what the costs were for all of that and divide it up between the entities. And actually, if I remember right, she said we probably should have gone to $1, but we still left it
the 75
at
cents.
75 cents. Yeah.
Like $13.
I usually mail these out, this is 22s, so in October we'll mail out 23s, and then they have so long to get it to us, and then I send it to the report.
And they pay it in 3 different it's like an ISD would, I would have thought would be the, well,
no.
the T. Well, that's another process, so. They got a lot of little processes. Because with the TISD being so much, and the hospital district,
yeah, it'd be the same.
It'd be the same,
Yeah.
they're one and the same.
if you add it up, that is the same. See those bottom 3?
Yeah, they add it to the same.
We add up to the,
They pay us in 3 checks is why.
yes, yes.
And it comes in at different times, so. There should be a column that shows what we charged, and then a column that matches to what we received.
Okay, and for this, for 22, it was 97,000.
And Judge, I included the appraisal district, I just didn't want to, I didn't want to confuse anybody. So the 97,000, my understanding is the per parcel, but then we also have to pay the appraisal district to actually give us those values. Otherwise, they,
It cost $13,000 to do that?
I don't know exactly how much it costs.
It's a cost share by levy.
I'm sorry.
What he pays to the appraisal district is a cost share by levy. So their levy's not very much, so they don't pay as much as, say, the county does to the appraisal district for their services.
Oh, like that,
It goes up and, this number goes up and down a little bit.
yes. You know, we get that bill from them,
Yeah.
and it shows, usually get it with their audit or their budget or something, and the county pays like $315,000 or something like that. So they can, work.
About parcel.
Never dreamed there were that many more parcels.
I wouldn't either.
even
Really,
in-
just, you
in the
over
city.
here in Fairfield, I mean, don't have the big places, the big.
How much
But
is
even
that?
within the city limits, so.
Yeah, but how
As
much
far as
is
Twin
that?
Tiga, Fairfield, I'd have thought Fairfield would have been more parcels.
Well,
City.
minerals are parcels too.
Yeah, the minimum,
That's
that's,
county minerals too.
yeah.
Problem for us is those our, at 5 cents, our the mineral ones, on ag exempt stuff is next to, it actually probably cost us more money to send those notices out to try to collect. It may cost the collector's office for a stamp and to try to retrieve 30 cents, you know? See what I'm saying? It's just because the parcel amounts, there's so many.
Yeah, so many of those rates, so.
Right.
It doesn't add up to.
Yeah.
You know, and we added 20,000 more this year.
1980,
19,000
19,800,
Countywide.
countywide. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
check on that.
I got the wrong sheet.
That's here.
That's proposed.
So we went from 207,608 parcels to 227,000.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
200 what?
207,608 to 227,488.
19,800.
So it was 12,
882.
12,882.
This is proposed, but I believe this.
Yeah, it's usually,
They
that's
got
what I'm
them.
saying. It's usually
Well,
around 100.
I'm just saying, this is a proposed budget, but
Yeah.
it got adopted, so that'll be a
Yeah.
real
Don't
number.
put that in, man. One guy died.
Yeah, right.
You know, and three of them
It's,
died.
yeah.
They had 4 kids, and, you know, had a half acre that split up between 47 people.
Dan, what do you think the county has tied up in the 75 cents that we're charging them? That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Well, when you look
It's primarily van hires and paper and ink, I guess.
well, we pay Pritchard and Abbott.
Yeah,
and all of
it's
that.
just the whole
It's
tax
all-
office function.
Sure. It's a line, ours is a line item on the main send out though, right?
Probably bring it even to 75 cents.
Yes.
You ain't making it.
And I can't say for sure, but as long as I've been here since 2012 and sending that out, I believe it's always been 75 cents. I don't know if it's raised it, but I could be wrong on that, so.
Let's send something.
Lisa did figure that though, from time to time.
Oh, yes.
She was probably trying to keep us at a break even, I guess,
Yeah,
back then.
yes. And you could try to figure that for us sometime, but I do remember at that time that she said we really should go up to $1 because we're not recouping the cost, but we didn't go up at that time. I feel like the 75 cents is probably not high, but you could, I mean, when you think about how much all of the computer stuff to generate all of that, those programs and everything have gone up.
Leases. Oh.
Whatever it is.
breaking theirs down into three lots. This is the number of parcels, that's what it's based off of.
Yeah.
They'll do that any less.
Just looking at the difference in two hospital districts, pays 97,467.
Well, so the XTL's got over very first down in the county.
Virtual hospital district pays 41,630.
Which is definitely need more trucks. You got bigger-
Number of parcels.
The number of parcels.
Like I say, how it's divided up.
One person
There's
dies, they
more
have
parcels,
five
two
kids,
that are in Fairfield.
And the reason for that's the minerals.
That's more.
TIG has a lot more, TIG ISD, which is the same as TIG Hospital District, same district lines, has a lot more mineral accounts.
Wow.
Well, it's up 50, 60.
Well, we have historically budgeted 100,000 for the ambulance. I looked back on our little sheet, and you confirmed that that was correct. So he is asking for an increase. Do we feel like we could do that at this time?
Do we have to answer it today?
We don't have to answer it today.
I think you,
Like I said, we at least, I mean, yeah, we'll cover what they're having to turn around where they're not going in the hole.
Yeah.
And then we can discuss anything above that.
Well, today, do we want to change it to 110, and then you can think about it if we want to come back with something else?
is 110 good or is it 120?
Sir,
110 or 120?
I think 110 is just gonna, yeah, that would be like the break even. But the only thing is at that point, we wouldn't be, it wouldn't help us as far as, keeping that tax rates down and not
We
raising it.
understand that, because that's what we do too, we try to
Yes,
keep
ma'am.
the tax rate down.
Yes, ma'am.
I know
It's tough.
it's a fight.
And that's why I was hoping there was something that maybe to look at on that, rather than asking y'all, hey, can y'all help us out with the appraisals and the money that we're spending to collect this tax money, instead of just saying, hey, can y'all help us out with that and go ahead and just maybe increase our budget to 150,000.
We can't do a thing about the appraisal people.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe something that, I don't know that it's ever been questioned. And that was the reason I brought it up. It's like he was saying about the minerals, but if you really look at the breakdown on a lot of those minerals, and I may be wrong, that's not my lane, I'm an EMS director. But if you look at a lot of those minerals, I think it costs more money to bill them, especially with some of the ag stuff, than it does what you actually get in return. Because some of them just aren't worth anything. I don't know if legally you can just say, hey, we're gonna tax, these parcels, but not these parcels.
Yeah, I don't know where's the threshold?
$500 value doesn't get mailed out, doesn't generate a tax bill. Yes, but that said, if you have 30 accounts under one owner and all your accounts add up to $600,
Right.
you're gonna get, a flat pack in the mail.
5 cents on a.
But as long as
$100,
as long as the tax
I
statement
didn't know where 500.
has over 500 in value, that it's worth mailing.
So on a $500, I may be wrong, correct me if I am, but on a $500 valuation, we're gonna collect 25 cents. So we're paying more for that part, we're paying 75 cents to collect 25
Plus
cents.
the postage, right?
Sir,
But the postage can't be built in that 75 cents, is it?
Yes.
Well, that,
that's what I'm saying.
What we say that's 50 cents?
Yeah, it costs 60 cents, 62.
I mean, that's a losing money deal for the
I-
county.
Yeah. That's what my concern was.
I don't think there's anything we can do about it.
But that's not the only
I
money
understand,
coming in,
I
but
don't-
ISD taxes.
yeah, you got the
county are
ISD, I
coming
mean,
in on that same bill.
it's added to, I mean, it's part of, it isn't the total, I mean, you're making it out for or I asked, I mean.
On one quote-unquote tax statement is actually anywhere from 3 to 4 or 5 tax statements.
Right, right, yeah.
Which, and I guess the other thing is like with Tig Hospital District, they are paying the ambulance, but not everybody is doing that. So Fairfield Hospital District doesn't pay all their money to their ambulance service. And the school doesn't pay theirs to their ambulance, you know what I'm saying? So
Zero from the city.
Your,
Y'all get zero from the city?
$0 from the city.
Really?
Yes, sir, that's correct. We get 100,000 from the county. We get, we collect 400 and, this year I think it's 420 or something, somewhere in there in tax collections, but we'll pay 110 of that back. So really, we're only generating a little less than $500,000 in tax or funding from the county towards a $1.4 million budget. We're hustling, we're taking transfers left and right, we're billing, you know, trying to bill every little thing we can. You know, we work on our own equipment. A lot of times if we got a generator on the ambulance that breaks, you know, I've been around these ambulances for almost 20 years, so rather than calling somebody to come fix it, I'll fix it, you know, or whatever it takes to fix it. You know, I can't tell you how many starters and tires that I've changed, you know, and things like that, to try to keep that cost down as much as possible. Otherwise, we can't compete, you know. I can't speak for what Fairfield does. I have no idea how they run their service, if it's private, if it's government, if it's nonprofit, no clue. But I know that a lot of other districts, you know, that have an ambulance service are collecting $1 million or more in taxes, where we're collecting $300,000-400,000.
310.
Yeah. But as far as conservative goes, I'm pretty confident to say that we're about as conservative we can possibly get.
yeah, and saying that, I'm just meaning that 75 cents isn't based on
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
funding the ambulance, but yeah, I mean, if it
Yeah,
was all
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be-
we're doing it 100% for that entire area. It's 100% of it goes, there's no profit whatsoever. None of our board members are paid, they're all volunteer. I mean, it's,
Except for the little part of indigent, right? Then the indigent.
the indigent care, we do a little bit of indigent care, which basically just pays for a doctor visit. So if you meet a certain threshold with your income, the hospital district will pay like $50 or something for you to go see a local physician to try to help them out. Now, we don't do a whole lot of that anymore just because of the restrictions. And honestly, we can't afford to pay for everybody to go to the doctor and provide an ambulance service. But the Teague Hospital District, you know, we've had people ask, you know, why we have a Teague Hospital District tax, but there's no hospital. Well, the simple question, or the simple answer is it would cost a lot of money to redo a district just to change the name to Teague Hospital District EMS. You know what I'm saying? And rather than going and spending all that money to try to change the name, just leave it as it was. And, you know, and at the time, the hospital district didn't have EMS. They weren't collecting any revenue. It was 0 cents. It was just established. It was just dormant. But the city wouldn't do the ambulance. Didn't want to, couldn't afford to, so the hospital district stepped up to provide the ambulance service and set that 5 cent tax was the cap, but it took 20 years to get to that cap, and we're still at that 5 cent. Actually, this year we're a little bit less than 5 cents. But we have a 12-cent cap. But like I said, y'all know how that is. If we decided to go to 8 cents to make everything happy, well, then we're going to have, I mean, that get pushed, they get thrown right back in our face. So, you know, we can't just do that. We can only go up legally. So, yeah, you only go up so much legally. And with the valuations going up, it actually forced us to go down on our tax rate. And whenever that plummets, we're still going to be at that 4-point-something%. When those appraisals get arbitrated and get pushed back down, then we're going to have a little bit of a problem. We're going to lose a little bit of money because those evaluations are going to go down. We've already set our tax rate at 4-point-something%.
All that.
It helps. I didn't. When I came in today, I was just coming to visit. I wasn't planning on talking about anything.
Okay,
We'll talk, whoever comes in, we're gonna ask them some stuff, yeah.
You don't need a copy of their budget, do you?
Sir?
The appraisal office?
No.
But you got
No,
one?
we get it. I mean, it's not, we don't think that we're getting gift or anything.
We do. $341,000, whoop.
And that's set up in state law.
Yeah.
Well, I don't agree with a lot about the state law, so there we are.
You don't know.
Doesn't make any difference, like you said, but I don't agree on a lot of things. Okay.
And we, being a tax collection agency, we cannot, they're limited to 0 grants that we can get.
Yeah, last year, our budget, didn't we pencil them both in at the same, Fairfield Antique, and then we changed it at the?
Yeah.
Changed.
We changed it before or after? Before. I said we pencil them in some.
I agree.
Me too. I'm in for 120. 110 to break, 110.
Yeah, that's just breaking
break
even,
even.
so-
They don't break them even though.
No, not
It
really.
doesn't?
No, because what they're going.
Like I'm saying.
Appraisal is, $12,882. So 113 would be more break even.
Let's just do 130, do the same as Fairfield.
You said 113?
Well, I'm just saying it's 13,000.
Well, if they collect 420, they
We're
work
getting
in,
the
that
money.
leaves 310 off, right off.
If we're charging them 100 and the regular discharge of them, it's 113,000.
That's what I'm saying, you're saying 113,000. They said 120 already.
I was just
I got you, okay.
saying what break even
Okay,
was.
okay. I see.
120?
Well, Will says
I
130,
mean, make them even,
make them even up.
even back up.
I'll go with that.
I make a motion, can you vote?
We don't.
You don't need it to work something.
130 is just a work site. I'll change that.
Maybe that'll help.
Anything, help. We appreciate everything y'all do for us.
We gotta have it.
Appreciate you. I hope I don't have that.
Well, the good, yeah, like I said, the good news is that we're doing it, so.
Okay, let's talk about,
Parking, we're good. Parking, we want 14,400, we're good to go.
we already got that on there. I think it's already on there, isn't it?
I'll bring it out with us, that's good with
On
me.
that list?
You're checked off.
Just check it off.
We didn't ask him any questions, because if we did, then we would, so we just quietly go right along with them. Okay, perfect. Don't tell them we give them, that you got an increase and we didn't give them an increase.
I don't talk to nobody.
No,
I stay to myself.
No, I'm just joking about that. It's public record, so it doesn't matter. All right, anything else? I am gonna adjust this just a little bit to where these two show to be even when we file them, and then we'll be having another meeting on the 2nd, which is next week. And so this will give you time to look at it, we make whatever changes then that we need to or want to. I think that the other, question that I have been asked, and we probably need to address it right now before we go on, is about the DPS secretary. We talked about it at the beginning, and we have already shown on the payroll sheet that she will be the administrator. But the sergeant is wanting us to go ahead and change that now, so that she can get a step up now, and then of the 1,500, about 1,500, and then she'll get the rollover, and then she'll get the raise. So I think that's what he's really asking.
What page is that?
But you're saying now that you're really not asking it until September 1st. So there'll only be
It won't matter, it'll be.
2 pays, it'll be 1 month.
It won't matter, the whole salary will be raised for the next year. Is the issue.
What page is that?
Let me look. 555 is the number. Because once it's added in there, it'll be that much more for the rest of the time.
Page 20,
And you may want to.
22.
22.
Aware.
22, Lord, get up there.
I have to have notes from the first or second copy.
And there will be more copies. 555, 22. 22. That'll be, let's see, what is it?
33.6 was the request,
All right, but what was it right here?
32.080.
32080, and then that would be,
Yeah.
that would be 1520 if we raise it now to the 33.6. And then it would be 1520 plus the 2,500 October 1st. So that would be
So the
5540.
There's a whole lot more work going on down there now than there ever has been, as far as I know. We have, how many DPS officers we have now?
We're actually full now. I've got one who's on my duty due to being pregnant. I've got one that's detached to the capital who'll be here in January.
That's 60, that's reported at 60 dollars.
I'll be good.
And so and so in Limestone County, y'all have,
We have a corporal and 3 troopers there, and we have 6 troopers here.
What does that bring it to, y'all period?
Well, October the 1st, the difference would be, let's see, from now until October 1st. $37,600, I believe.
We're 640.
Is that right? I believe so, from 32,080 to 37,620.
Yes, ma'am.
So what amount do I need to put in as salary?
I'm sorry.
What is the amount that I need to put in the salary sheet?
Well, I don't know yet, we haven't had a decision yet.
inflation supplement, and then the raise, if we stay at that $2,500 raise, that is the 5540 we're talking about.
Right.
I think the easiest way to look at it is that when any other job retains their 1,520 supplement, or the supplement, if it rolls into, plus they get 2,500, that's a $335 a month raise. This 5540 would be a $461 a month raise. So the difference is $126, and I think that $126 is what you could say, I mean, that's what that promotion, to me, that's the additional cost. You know, that's what changing the, is that right? As far as the time of the year, September versus,
But our year's October. But it just depends on what y'all want to do is basically the question there.
what I'm saying, if it's only $126 per month more, and we already approved the change from secretary to, what do we call it?
Administrative
Administrative
assistant.
Yeah, administrative assistant. Am I missing anything?
No, it's just that however much it is additional per month from now on.
Which I got figured at 126.
I'm good with that.
$1,500 a year.
Yep.
I'm good with it.
All right, then you do need to change it.
How much? What do I need to put in as my salary? On the sheet.
37.6.
How much?
Is that right? Okay,
No, because we have the 25 over on the side.
Yeah, that's including 2,500, so.
Yeah, including.
All right. We'll go to item number 5 to discuss the tax rate and vote on a proposed tax rate.
32.
Pardon?
32.
We figure this budget on this.
It's 32.19.
32.19.
1915.
It's 32.
Or we just-
Even up, or 32. with the rest.
32 is what I used.
Oh, you used to use 32?
But we can do the 32.19 if that's what we want.
32.19.
Yeah.
19?
The way this is going, it's going.
I'll leave it at 37.
32, 193.
No, I'm talking about.
What do you want, Dan? You're gonna be figuring all this 32.
Makes no difference to me.
Just say 37, we landed on it.
Okay.
They done told me we can't do that.
Do we have a motion to set the proposed rate at 3219?
I'll make that motion.
I second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 6 is to vote to set the proposed salaries and expenses or allowances, and I believe we have those amounts as the increase of the $2,500 as a raise, and the 1520 rolls into the ones that already had it, that stays in theirs. Are we gonna change any travel allowances or anything?
When do we talk about our department raises? That was on our, should it come before y'all vote to vote on the raises?
We can talk about them in due time. Okay, you wanna talk about them now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will go back to budget workshop.
What page?
I don't have.
You know, I'm trying to give her, you said you didn't want it yesterday. I had made a change on my budget.
I thought you said after we gave that amount of a raise, that would
for Tammy and for Jamie.
Okay.
But for Alicia,
Oh, okay.
there's 3 chief deputies, and the highest paid chief deputy, and on this new thing, is on the backside of page 1, I guess that's page 2, and district clerk, her chief deputy makes $46,425. The other 2 chief deputies is in the tax office and in my office. My concern is my chief deputy, and she makes $40,372. That's a difference of $6,053. Back in the district clerk's office, when the chief deputy was got her raised, that was in 2018. And she went from $30,599 to $38,000. That was a raise of $7,400.
I remember it well.
And I'm just asking, I think it's only fair that my chief deputy be making be up at the same level as the chief deputy in the district clerk's office. When I'm out, she runs the entire office. When I'm there, she has a whole lot of responsibilities, and she's in charge of all the computers. We have like 15 computers. We have a lot of electronics. We do generate revenue, and actually just recently discovered there's a revenue that doesn't get reported every single month on any reports, which amounts to an additional $3,000 in estimation a month. That's what I'm asking for Alicia, is that she just be equivalent to the chief deputy in district. And I know that's asking for a lot of money, but
In your office, if you're out, does your chief deputy assume your duties and supervise your employees?
yes.
Dan, when you're out, does your chief deputy supervise your employees?
She does, and that's also written in state law.
It's a state law.
In the absence of a tax assessor collector, the deputy assumes all duties.
What about the district clerk? Does she, when you're out, does she, that chief deputy assume the duties? Does she, how many people does she supervise?
She supervises 2 more,
2 more?
plus she does about the same thing as Renee is saying. She handles all the computers, something goes wrong with them, handles all the computers. She can do what I can do if I'm not there.
And like mine has to be bonded separately because of that, and I assume y'all's do too. You have to
Yes.
have a separate bond on them because they do every duty that you do in your absence, and they have the same liability requirements.
close.
Like $600.
There's no decision right now. We can talk about this on Wednesday. We'll have a budget workshop on that. If y'all want to think about it a little more.
I also have one more request, and that is, I have, under my special funds, I have a full-time employee coming out of my preservation fund.
What number is that?
Let's see. Jamie,
Back page, last one.
yeah.
Just back page.
091, down at the bottom. She comes out of preservation, and so does my part-time employee, Helena, comes out of the preservation also. I have one allocated to come out, a part-time to come out of archive, but I have not hired, I need to hire another part-time, but I have not hired one because I do not want to keep depleting my special funds. I'm requesting that Jamie and my part-time, the full-time and the 2 part-time positions come out of the general fund. Right now in my preservation fund, there's not any money in there for an employee because there's $53,000 that comes out of that fund for that scanning that got done. The previous county clerk did contract with COFOM for $150,000, and there's $53,000 for 3 years that comes out of that fund. And I get $55,000 in that fund in the year. So,
Let's wait to talk about that one.
Okay.
When Karen is here, because she does those special.
Okay.
Okay?
okay,
All right, we'll talk about that next week.
all right, that's all.
All right. And y'all can think about that. All right, so the vote to set the proposed salaries is really only, for the elected officials, because those have to be published. We still can change anything else, as we later decide. So at this time, there aren't any elected official salaries that are going to be changed other than what we've talked about with the raise and the inflation supplement being put in. We've got this, yeah, I know, Jeremy.
No, it's reflected in here.
Yes, yes, we've already got that, ready to be published. Now the constables, theirs could be raised, but we already talked about that. We've already talked about that. Okay, so next, what about allowances? We're leaving the travel the same. Everybody? We haven't even really talked about that. Okay. All right, then we have a motion to set the proposed salaries, expenses, and allowances.
What we gonna talk about it with?
Did we already vote? No, we're going to talk about if we're going to change anything else among them. It won't be elected officials. Elected officials we're setting today. You want to give any of the other elected officials a raise? Other than the 2,500?
I ain't heard nobody ask for nothing, like an official. Regardless. You want to raise?
All right. We have a motion to set those. That's with the supplement that's rolled in plus the $2,500 raise.
That's what it's showing on this sheet right here today.
Yes, it should be, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carries. Item number 7 is to announce the date of the meeting to vote on the tax rate. That will be August the 16th of 2023. Number 8 is the announcement of the date of the meeting to adopt the budget. That will be August the 16th of 2023. Any other discussion?
Are we gonna meet on Saturday?
I'm not gonna be here.
Well, no.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll go make it.
Second.